Are you ready to let go of anger and embrace the grounding energy of renewal? Hello, I'm Hannah, a dedicated yoga teacher with over a decade of experience. In traditional Chinese medicine, the wood element symbolizes the liver and gallbladder, as well as emotions of anger and frustration. It's also associated with the vibrant season of spring. Together, we're going to transform these negative emotions into a harmonious balance, bringing vitality into our lives. So, grab your yoga mat, a bolster or pillow, and join me in welcoming the transformative power of spring. You may like to grab one pillow for your practice today. We'll start in child's pose. So I brought a little bit of extra padding in for my practice today, something that I like to do for my own personal practice. If you have a blanket, you're welcome to do that too. I'm bringing the cushion in underneath my belly and chest, just for a little softness and feedback within my body today. And I'm choosing to prop my forehead, just working into a posture of child's pose that feels nurturing and comfortable for you. It could be bringing extra cushions underneath the back of the heels, behind the thighs, or more padding under those knees and shins. Let's let the breath sigh away a couple of times here, through the mouth if you choose. As we start to draw inwards, just noticing perhaps what the weather of our emotions or current state of mind may be, without changing it, just seeing if we can be in a space of acknowledgement. And then just transitioning your thoughts to any parts of the body that you notice could be calling out a little louder, a little more waving at you in terms of sensation. And that could be pleasant sensation, or it could be discomfort within the body. Just acknowledging each part in turn that is calling for your attention. And now we're just staying for one more breath. And then we'll slowly come on upright. So most of our practice now is going to be laying on our backs. For me, I don't need the cushion for this next pose as we head towards happy baby pose. So really it's just adding on from child's pose in terms of the openness of hips. So lay onto your back and then start to gather the knees in. Just start by holding on to the front of the shins and maybe allow the knees to widen and close a couple of times, and feel the pressure of your spine lightly pressing into the earth, the mat beneath you. Now this might truly be enough. It could be that just pausing with the hands on the shins is your variation of happy baby, and it's very similar to child's pose. We've just reversed it upside down. We've got gravity working and pulling in different ways on the body. Or if you feel like you could go there, start to bring your arms to the inside of your legs and reach down towards the inside of your ankles, grabbing onto the ankles here and allowing your arms to rest the inside of the legs. So this could be another variation of your happy baby, and this might be where you stay. Alternatively, you could start to turn the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling, still just holding onto ankles, or if you can reach them, the outer blade of your feet. So if you've really had to reach and lift your head, your shoulders, your hips off the ground just to grab the outer edge of the feet, I'd probably suggest pulling back a variation. And then we come to stillness. Don't worry about the spine being perfectly flat on the ground. It's our yin practice. There could be a little lift of the tailbone. If that happens naturally, that's okay. In time, maybe the hips will drop a little heavier down towards the mat. So our liver meridian line runs along the inside edge of the ankle, inner thighs, all the way up the inside seam of the leg into the liver, and then the gallbladder meridian line runs the opposite on the outer edge of the ankles, outer seam of your legs, and into the gallbladder. They work hand in hand together, a beautiful marriage, and they balance each other out in terms of energy and emotions. So when we do these deep hip opening postures, we're never ever going to a point of pain, but you might discover a sense of discomfort along the way. It might be there at the beginning of the pose, it might be creeping up in the middle or towards the end. Remember that we're never leaping over the edge into pain, but we are going to see if we can stay with the discomfort and acknowledge it, and see if we can disperse the discomfort over time, just through breath, through bringing thoughts perhaps to that sensation, or perhaps bringing thoughts away from that sensation, and just seeing what may occur. Just pausing for about 3 more breaths. Make any adjustments that you might need. When you feel ready to come out of the pose, you might simply bring the heels back down. And maybe you'd like to pause, just containing the knees, the shins in towards the belly, and then landing the feet softly to the earth. If you want to, you could straighten the legs, or perhaps soles of feet stay to the ground and the knees teepee together. You might even like a little windscreen wipe action of the legs, but try to come to stillness in the next 2 breaths. Just pausing in what we refer to as a moment to rebound. Feeling into sensations, feeling into a sense of release of the body. Feeling, if possible, a sense of contentment in this moment rather than agitation. A sense of letting go rather than holding tight. So we're going to work now through to a spinal twist, and I'll work us all the way through to cat pulling tail pose. And this can be quite a deep variation of our supine twist. So please note that you do not have to get to that final posture. I'm just going to keep adding on a few suggestions. You take your body where it feels possible to go. I'm going to start by turning my torso or my knees away from you. Hopefully you can sort of see my legs in the posture. So I'm going to align my pillow over towards my right side, and then I'm just going to scoop my hips a little bit towards the left side of my mat. I want to lengthen my right leg and then bring the left knee up and drop that down towards the cushion. You don't have to have the cushion at all. It might be that you'll decide not to have any props there, but that can be maybe variation 1 at this stage. And if you find that having one knee bent, one leg long doesn't work for you, you could always have both knees together as well. So the leg that's underneath, I suggested it being long and straight initially. I'm actually going to start to kick the heel back now. So I'm stagging the legs, bending both knees at this point. I want to see if I can reach now with my left hand towards that right ankle. It might be that you have to initially bring your head and your shoulders off the ground to grab the foot and then let your head drop. I'm going to do a little wiggle and a rearrange of my body. I also want to come away from my sofa here because I'm going to do something different with the top leg as well, and I need a little more room. So this could be a variation and you're trying to kick the bottom knee back behind you, and that might be more than enough. If you feel like you can, your right hand is now going to see if it can reach towards your left foot. Again, you might have to lift a leg or your head, your shoulders to get there, and then see if you can drop down. So I've now taken hold of both of my feet with opposite hands and into a variation of cat pulling tail pose. And if it feels okay, you can turn your gaze the opposite direction towards the left side, but you don't have to. So remember, you might pull back on any of these variations along the way. Find a place where you can stay now for several breaths. See if you can take 3 more breaths. And then we come to center as steadily and slowly as we can. One of those poses that needs a little bit of care to come out of. I'm moving my prop to the second side in preparation, and we'll head there relatively quickly. Once you've found your way to center, go ahead and shimmy the hips to the right side of your mat, lengthen the left leg, bend the right knee and cross that over your body. See if you can spread the arms and the shoulders, and that might be where you stay. If you feel like you can bend the bottom leg so that the legs are stacked, maybe your right hand reaches towards the left foot, maybe your left hand reaches towards the right foot. And you do not have to stay in this variation where we're holding on to both feet. Maybe you're holding on to one foot, maybe none. Perhaps you've turned the gaze the opposite direction towards the right side. Just doing what feels okay in your body on this side. And again, here we attempt to pause and find stillness. last couple of breaths here. And slowly unravel your way back to center. You may like to take a moment to settle into a comfy posture of rebound, but it will also become our Savasana. See if you can stay with the sensations of the body for as long as possible in terms of your thoughts and your attention.